Good morning. So, an update on the Dark Age of Man manuscript. We are very, very close now. Dell and I and his son Jorian. We are reading and proofreading through the rulebook. We are tweaking and adding, information for clarity. And last night, most of the night, most this morning, I have completed the Dark Ages England glossary. So this is a glossary of terms that you would see in medieval England, but it's also features some game pieces for us. It features, in a way, again, ours is a fictional England, a fictional Ireland, fictional Daneland, sea peoples, etc. So there are some references to our actual game as well here. So it just gives very short, simple, concise ideas of what a thing is, right? And this should not be bold. This should, for some reason, is bolded. So just so individuals, again, our game is not meant to be super realistic. It is a fantastic fictional representation. There are monsters and creatures and supernatural. There is magic and miracles, but so individuals, if they want to, can understand or use terms that keep them in the fiction, keep them transported to the headspace. We wanted to make sure we put in all of these very interesting terms. Also, among them, you'll see like Irish. This describes Ireland. This would be the Irish, right? People from Ireland, clan folks, right? Clan folk. Really quick, let me save that. So I made a change there. Yep. Okay, so Ireland, of course, the Isle west of England, and then of course we have real terms. Some of them have been. I've shortened the description. There are of far greater information. Some of, like, for instance, what's a benefit? Well, it's a pretty complicated law, but all you people really need to understand is it means the clergy has immunity to secular law, right? A benefice is a land grant to the church for monasteries, etc. So I just shortened a lot of this stuff in my research. I've been slowly in another file putting together all of these terms, and last night decided it was time to tighten it up and get it into our glossary. So now, of course, you'll understand who a chamberlain is, a chancellor is, a constable is, what's a kotar, a lower rank peasant. Also, we use prestige in our game. So what this does is it gives you an idea. If you're a prestige 0 person in our game, and you're a peasant, you would be known as a kotar, right? But like a constable, an officer in command of a garrison, he would be, about a prestige 2 or 3. So this also gives gives presenters and players an idea of how high a prestige a chamberlain might be or a chancellor might be, right? A king would be a 4 or higher. A duke, left over from the Roman dukes, which was a landowner royal family, lord of a duchy. Certainly in the Middle Ages, duke was not a term readily used, but again, we're not sticking hard and fast to a certain range of time. This could be from 850 to 1066, so to speak, right? 200 and some odd years. So very interesting. Anyway, so we wanted to have all of these terms that you don't feel like as players or presenters you need to know these terms, you need to use these terms, but for us, because there is a pretense here that this is Dark Ages England, I wanted individuals to have an idea of what these things are called or do. And of course, we have the Northmen or the Sea Peoples. We refer to them generically. Well, I decided to give them a name, so they are Dane, a person from Daneland, Sea Peoples, Daneland, the North country across the sea, and Danelaw, the law of the Sea Peoples. So I wanted to make sure they had some kind of origin, Daneland. However, in our game, Sea Peoples can be foreigners from anywhere. I mean, they could come up from Africa, whatever, right? So sea peoples could come really from anywhere, but obviously Vikings are ultimately what we're looking at with Danes. And then I even defined our Dublin, right? The capital city of Ireland. I defined our London. Eastumberland is the East Kingdom of England. So I also defined England, Northwich, and Eastumberland in ours, because again, it can be confusing to people who these are loosely based on the Dark Ages. And then, of course, these are also real terms. A glebe, land granted to the clergy. A fyrd is a militia, alderman's militia. So you can raise your militia to fight or defend your forts, etc. Hue and cry, what is hue and cry, etc. What is a man-at-arms? Marchers are petty kings, and marches are territories of lands that are generally ruled by petty kings. So that's pretty cool. Man-at-arms or yeoman is a soldier who owns land, generally, in exchange for his military service. So his prestige could be 1 to 3, right? You could have a soldier who's only 1, but he's going to be granted land because he's in a, let's say he's a soldier for a petty king. That petty king might give him 90 acres, but he wouldn't be necessarily a man-at-arms for the King of England or the King of England. Anyway, so I just wanted all this stuff in here. What is this stuff? All the different taxes that you can use and play. If characters are playing merchants, or let's say they're running a small wharf, riverside town, and they have a wharf for trade routes, they might want to charge taxes to all the traders that load and unload baggage, unload and unload goods. So again, even the player characters who become, let's say, the mayor of a small village or a small wharfside town, they want to be able to use these terms too. They're going to need a sheriff. They're going to want to tax people who come in and out. So it's very cool. And that's it. I just wanted to share. That's how close we are to being finished with the manuscript. At that point, all the art is done. The glossary is now in. And then, of course, the rules are complete. All we now need to do is really take it all, hand it over to our book designer and book editor, Brian, and let Brian put it all into the proper publishing package that we can then submit to for publication with Drive-Thru-RPG, I think is what we're going to do. So we just want to bring everybody up to speed. We are very, very close to releasing our game. Anyway, and our game, I think, will be fun for a lot of people. It's going to be interesting because we are also providing a different style and different techniques for how to be a GM or a presenter, as well as our own little world where you can have great fun here doing this. So hopefully people will get out of this more than mechanics. We aren't pitching that we have some mechanically innovative game, but we are pitching that there could be we can hopefully inspire you to try to be a GM or a presenter in your games different than you're accustomed to, and as a player take more narrative agency over the actions and the situation around you. Hopefully with the ambition to take your character from his beginning to hopefully 10 repute, where he would become one of the greatest legends in the Dark Ages. So anyway, thank you so much. Everybody have a fantastic weekend. Good day.